Hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of Sarma Melngailis?
Do you think I'm dressed like Kim Possible today?
We were just arguing about this.
Because she wears the same thing in every episode.
Yeah, she does.
Not every episode.
That's true, actually. Yeah, there are a couple.
Oh, that's what I did. I was like, oh man, cartoon characters always wear the same thing. And Tim goes, not every cartoon character. Just so you know what episode's going to be like today, Tim's in a mood.
Jared told me
Tim's in a mood, and I'm fine with it. Tim's in a mood, and I'm not. Tim's in a mood. I'm not in a mood at all. Roll the intro. Green-haired little girl opens a raw vegan place, just sliced vegetables.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for your genuine laughter. Make that the out of context quote. That's crazy. Thank you for your genuine laughter. I'm going to say that during shows now. Thank you for your genuine laughter. That's very nice.
Things I learned last night.
Jared told me not to laugh today.
Roll it again.
So I'm going to try not to laugh today.
No, you know what it is I try to edit clips for our show, and half of the clips are you going, so anyway, this is what they did. And I can't,
I'm not having fun here. I'm happy to be
You're
here.
not having fun. You're handing it up because you think that's what they want on social media.
No,
you're like, oh, they like when I laugh. I'm going to laugh more. You're like a little clown.
I couldn't care less about social media.
Just straight up lying to
some negative comments and see if I care.
Oh, we do have. There's that kid. You keep saying that, and there's a kid who follows us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Who I think is disliking every video and leaving negative comments.
Yeah.
Ezra, leave the negative comments, but quit disliking the videos. I figured it out. I was like, man, we have a hater who's disliking all our videos. That actually hurts the algorithm. Don't do that.
But you could leave a negative comment.
Yeah. It's shout out to you, Tyler Cox.
Wait, sorry, I can't laugh.
Yeah, don't laugh.
Sorry. Sarma Melngailis. Sarma Melngailis.
Oh, Sarma.
Sarma Melngailis.
Okay.
Here. What the frick? I thought I saved more pictures of her. Well, this is the only one that made it into my presentation. So
my presentation. Oh,
this is all I got. Which is pretty shocking.
Sarma Pink's real name?
It does kind of seem like this might be a young
Don't laugh
Pink.
First. Second, I was genuinely asking, is that not Pink?
No, that's not Pink. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm very, hold on.
So for those listening, and here's what happens, is that Tim shows me stuff too early into the episode, and I don't know if we can make fun of this person or not.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know the story. I can?
Yeah, you can make fun
of
them.
All right. Well, she looks like the kid from Toy Story, the bad kid. And with stereotypical green hair.
Yeah.
Like, like this is probably a 2006 picture.
Yeah. Definitely high school, definitely her rebellious
eyeliner, face. Smoky eye, one side of the lip pierced, and then side of the head shaved, green hair on top.
Yeah.
And that's the only pic, and it's not a good quality picture either. This is the only one you've got?
No, I just went and grabbed more, but okay. I will say her hair honestly looks like, you remember in Rugrats, Angelica's Barbie?
Yeah.
She actually honestly looks a lot like Angelica's Barbie. But this is what.
See how he just laughs through the end of his sentences?
Okay, so
jokes.
Here she is as an adult.
Okay.
Much more of a
looks like a normal person.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Oh, she's got like a harrowing story we're about to hear. She's in a white chair in front of a white backdrop, and she looks kind of sad. This is a documentary shot for sure. Tim, did you set me up to make fun of somebody who's got a bad story?
No.
Okay.
No.
We're going to find out something really bad happened to this lady.
Nothing really bad happened to her. Well, I mean, I guess there's kind of technically some bad things happened to her, but it's not like you're gonna feel guilty or anything. I mean, you might a little bit, but there's a chance. It depends how empathetic you are, and it depends how much you could like overlook certain things.
Okay, go ahead.
So she was born in 1972. Long story short, her mother was a chef. Her dad worked in oh my god, you were
is that you? I was trying to turn my ears up, but I was turning yours up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her mother was a chef, and her dad was a physicist at MIT. So they lived in
Her mother was a what?
a chef.
Okay, you put a T at the end of it, but
Her mother was a cleft. Her mother was a
What are you? What?
what?
I said you put a T at the end of chef, and you went, yeah, cleft. So you added another letter in there.
Added another letter, took one away, added another letter. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, I can't laugh. Her dad was a physicist at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT as they call it.
Okay.
And so she kind of grew up.
No one calls it that.
She kind of grew
We
up.
all call it the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
She kind of grew up in like her parents were well-to-do, highly educated. Her mom was like a chef at like a high-end restaurant, and so it was like they were.
Has someone done like a little parody play called "Well to Do About Nothing"?
What's the other?
Much Ado About Nothing.
What? Say it again.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Because you said well-to-do about nothing. I was like, that's what it's called, isn't it? Because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't laugh. No, I don't know, and I don't know.
No,
what,
I just
don't know what.
People are like, "Wow, Jaren's telling Tim not to laugh." No, go back and listen to a couple episodes and ask yourself if those laughs are genuine. Because I know Tim's laugh, and sometimes I'm on my walk and I listen to it and I go, "That was a fake laugh."
He's faking it.
That's not even.
Here's the thing, though. That's how I am. Like, just in general, like in a social environment, like if I'm being social with somebody, I'm going to fake laugh at you. Like, I feel like that's a generous thing to do. Fake laugh at people.
I don't need your fake laughs.
Yeah, you make me authentic laugh.
Put that on a birthday card. Thanks. Wow. You make me authentic laugh. Signed, Tim.
I did find an anniversary card in the street outside of my house yesterday. And it was run over. There's a tire mark on it. We hung it on our fridge.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What does it say?
It says happy anniversary. And the person who got the card for someone literally just put their name on it. They didn't write anything in the card. It's literally just the printed happy anniversary and their name in it.
Yeah.
And whoever got it, I guess, was like, I don't need this card, and just threw it in the street.
Wow.
And then ran it over, and now it's on my fridge. Weird. Sorry, can't laugh. So her parents were very like well-to-do parents.
Yeah.
Very like.
Where did she live? Massachusetts?
Massachusetts, yeah.
Okay.
Boston area. And they were very like prim and proper. Like, you're gonna get educated. You're gonna do well in school. You're gonna do all these things. And so
that's why she went goth.
That's why she did
to
this.
Be. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm edgy. I'm cool. Have we talked about punk bands on the show before?
I don't know
how crazy it is that these punk bands are in their parents' garage being like, I hate my mom. And it's like, dude, your mom is making pizza bites in the other room. And they're like, my mom was so mean to me. I never knew my dad. And your dad's like, I pay for the electricity for this.
I bought you all those guitars. I bought your entire band those guitars.
Investing in your kids' artistic dreams for them to turn that art into an angst piece against you is what I'm saying.
But it's you're telling your dad it's a caricature. I'm not. This isn't really me.
Oh, the power structures of the home. You're like, all right.
I'm fake angry at my parents.
Yeah, I'm hamming it up for the camera, Dad. Don't worry. That wasn't real.
That was real. Okay, maybe that was a little fake. It was a real laugh, but it was a little. It was.
Tim, we're gonna find out who you really are this episode. I'm determined to do it.
I didn't even realize it was fake. You called me out. I was like, no, it was real. And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, maybe it was exaggerated a little bit.
Wow.
Maybe I did exaggerate that laugh a little bit.
Okay.
But it's okay.
No. Anyway, punk band in the garage, all this stuff. So she went angsty because her parents are very like, you're going to do the certain things.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, it was a short-lived high school phase because then she went on to, let's see, what school is this here? The Wharton School of Economics.
Oh, okay.
She got a degree.
She pulled it together.
Yeah. So she got a degree in economics, and then she went and worked at Bear Stearns in New York City in '96, and then Bain Capital in Boston.
Is Bear Stearns the place where they sing while you eat?
What? Are you talking about Lambert's? Lambert's doesn't sing while you eat.
No, Lambert's throws rolls.
What is what?
It's very clearly not the place where they sing while you eat. I thought that was funny.
What is the place? I'm not allowed to laugh. What is the place where you?
There's a place in New York that like people who
Broadway?
were trying to be on. No, yeah. There's a place in New York where people sing songs and people pay money to go watch them sing. And I can't remember what that's called.
I don't know what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Somebody remind me.
No, it's like is it Carolyn's on Broadway? Is that what that is? Anyway, you've not seen this? Maybe it's because I'm a theater kid that pops up on my TikTok.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
But the servers, the waiters, they'll take your order, they'll put the food in, and then they will literally stand on the tables and just sing musical numbers. It's fun.
I've genuinely never heard of this.
They're really good. They're like, because they're all trying to be on Broadway.
Interesting.
And so they're all
fun.
like legitimately really great singers.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Interesting. Well,
but clearly Bear Stearns was not that. That was the bit.
Okay.
But you would have had to have known.
I would have had to know about
that. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. You want to try again? I can fake laugh at it.
No, just tell the story.
So then she works. So then she goes to Bain Capital, works in private equity.
Is Bain Capital the place where they sing? See, that's a genuine one. That's a good one. You know what it is? It's during our phone calls, I hear your genuine laugh.
Yeah.
And that's where I go, oh, that was a real, because we say stuff on our phone calls. That is really funny. And anyway. Our highest tier in Patreon, we share recordings of our phone calls. Hey, if you join us on our highest tier Patreon, though, we do routinely hang out once a month with our $20 tier. And in December, it's an all patron hangout. So $5, $20, whatever it is, come hang out.
Yeah, so any tier can get in.
When does this episode drop? This episode comes out Thanksgiving week. Oh, hey, happy Thanksgiving.
I hope you're thankful for this.
And we don't know the date for that yet, but once that's announced, you'll know by the time this is out. We'll put it on the screen. And so come hang out.
Yeah, very cool.
Anyway,
so she's working in private equity.
Sure.
You love the private equity heads. And she's doing it, and she realizes, I hate this. This sucks. I hate this career. I don't like math. I don't like numbers. I don't like money. Well, she's like, I actually do kind of like money. And so then she meets this guy named Matthew Kenny, who you might know. He is a celebrity chef. You might recognize him. You don't?
Not even in the slightest.
Oh, interesting. Well, he's a celebrity chef. He does appearances on like a lot of those morning shows for his stuff.
Hold on.
And is
this her?
Yeah.
What's the little tattoo of?
It's like a duck.
Oh, okay.
Like a really long beak.
Sure.
Do you see that?
Yeah, it's super low def. I think we probably could have looked at maybe another image, just try to figure out what the tattoo is. But I love your confidence of it's Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King is what that is.
No, I know it's a duck. I do know it's a duck. That will come into the story.
Oh, that'll come up later?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Matthew owns, or throughout his career has owned like dozens of restaurants around New York City, big time celebrity chef. And they together said, hey, let's open up a restaurant together. And so she, never having done this, it's kind of her first venture into being a restaurateur.
Yeah.
And
a restaurateur is the person who owns it. A restaurateur is the one who pulls the strings and is standing up there making all the servers do their song and dance.
Dance good enough, and I'll let you go to Broadway.
All right. I'm done with that bit. Tim just thinks stuff is funny.
So in 2001, they opened up a restaurant called Commissary.
Yeah.
And it was decent.
Fine name.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't love it.
Commissary. It's like the same as being like cafeteria.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, it's a little,
because the commissary is what it's called on a base.
Yeah. And that, I don't, or in prison.
True.
So I don't know what they were trying to like
Speaking of prison,
with that.
Thanks for listening on your iPads in jail. And thanks for watching on YouTube when you got out. We get a lot of YouTube comments. It feels like most of our fans at this point might have been through the prison system, which is pretty wild. Yeah. It's crazy that our fans are either prisoners or homeschoolers.
That is pretty crazy.
Very rarely does that overlap.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy for it.
Some of them pull it off, Yeah, very rarely do prisoners and homeschoolers overlap unless you're the Duggars.
Can we say that?
I don't care. Yeah, they're in prison. What are they?
They're listening.
Yeah. It's funny. We can say it.
So they open their restaurant and they actually start consulting with a guy named Jeffrey Trudeau. I don't know why I can't say that.
No, it's fun to yeah.
Chodorow. Why can't I say that? Chodorow?
Okay.
Chodorow. Anyways.
I'm sure it matters.
This is what he looks like.
This is from a documentary. This is from the same documentary the other lady. It's okay. We got to quit because something's up.
I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, I like him too. Is this his house?
Yeah, he's very, very rich.
Okay.
So maybe we shouldn't, but I do.
Background looks like a hotel. That's like what I'm saying. He lives.
That's his house. Yeah.
He shaves his arms.
You think so?
Look at him.
Yeah, it's hard to respect a guy with shaved arms. But I will say, easy to respect a guy with loafers and no socks and like pants that don't go all the way down. Like that. They're not capris. They're full length pants, but they're not to the ankles yet. And there's something
this guy's
about that.
Rich.
Show a little bit of ink.
Yep.
So Jeffrey is a
You can't let Tim look at a guy with money too long because he just starts to be like, gosh, and that polo fits his shoulders weird, which is just
this
perfect.
Rich guy's kind of odd,
and
isn't he?
He's got that polo and this capri pants, and it'd be better if his arms were hairy. But gosh, I just love looking at this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I just love looking at this guy. Like if you let Tim look at it, like Tim's enamored by power and money, and that's rough.
I'm not enamored by it. I just think that sometimes rich dudes have good style, okay?
You thought, okay. All right.
But it's not like rich.
Let's see your outfit of the day.
It's not rich young guys.
Here's a Vans shirt that I've had since 2016.
I look a lot like Kim Possible today, actually.
Okay, keep going. I look a lot like Kim Possible today. Stupid.
So...
not I'm dressed like Kim Possible. I look a lot like Kim Possible today. No, you do look like you still drive delivery for Pickleman's.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the look I'm going for, actually.
There you go. It's the tattoos.
So they opened it in 2001.
Those scream unemployed, dude.
So they opened it in 2001, and it didn't go great. In 2003, they shut it down. And so then she starts consulting for Jeffrey Trudeau's. He has a China grill management company, which sounds like it does what it sounds like. And so they together, he's like, hey, I love what you guys did, because the restaurant that they opened was a vegan restaurant. And that was very
2001, very new, very niche.
Yeah, so it didn't hit, but he thought it was an interesting concept. And so he's like, hey.
What's that one downtown called?
Here?
Yeah. Cafe Gratitude?
Is that vegan?
I thought so. Isn't Cafe Gratitude vegan, or is it just vegetarian?
It was, I think, mostly vegan. It's gone, though.
Is it gone?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's sad.
Woke is dead. You know?
Sorry, fake
it's
laugh.
gone and it's replaced by a barbecue joint now. That's crazy.
No, so he was like, I think that
was the
this
veganism
concept
stuff. I mean, the vegan stuff was a fad as far as like widespread. Obviously, there are. I feel like what happens, there's a core group of people who are committed to being vegan.
Yeah.
Either through principle or just through dietary needs.
Yeah.
And then the fad of it kind of grew into this thing.
Yeah, I think there was
that bubble has kind of gone down.
Yeah, and I think there was two fads going on at the same time. There was like the moral fad, where
that's
it was like
true, and the health fad,
and then health, yeah,
and then both of those kind of died down at the same time.
Yeah,
which is interesting because the 2001 commissary was pre that fad. That fad was hitting hard 2014, 2015.
Yeah, they were very, very early to that game.
I mean, obviously it goes in waves as well. So, I mean, maybe there was there a big vegan push in 2001?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Like this was very, as far as I know, there was nobody else doing this. And that was why Jeffrey was so interested in this. And he was like, this is a very unique new idea. I'd like to invest in it. I think
my
that
thing with the
successful.
vegan stuff, if you choose to do that, well, whatever. But there was a gal that my uncle had dated when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
That we were at their house for New Year's, and she made nachos, and she did the thing where it's like, here, eat this. Like, eat these nachos I made, and then you eat them, and then she goes, by the way, that's vegan meat and cheese.
Yeah, surprise!
And I was like, oh, I was wondering why it was so bad. I wasn't gonna say anything because we don't know you that well. You're just dating my uncle, but these nachos are the worst thing I've ever had in my life. And I was very politely being like, wow, very good, love this. And then you go, by the way, it's vegan meat and cheese. Oh, thank God.
Now I know why this
Thank
sucks.
God this sucks for those reasons and not because you're bad at cooking meat and then I'm going to hurt myself later. Even as an 8th grader, I knew,
Yeah, you knew it sucked.
And that's what I don't like. Don't pull a fast one on me.
Yeah. Don't trick me into eating.
Yeah, don't be like, oh, this is... Or also, don't try to convince me it's the same.
It's like a Jesus juke, but with food.
Yeah. It's a tofu juke.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Which is like, if you like that, good. Alex is looking at us like, wow, we're making fun of all my friends. Alex has a lot of woke vegan friends.
It's probably why their marriages are so good.
That's why their marriages are so good. It's all the tofu I'm eating is freaking. Yeah, these meat eaters are leaving their anniversary cards in the street.
I like the idea that meat eaters.
I can't decide if we should hard pivot to the right or if we should hard pivot to the left.
Which pivot do we
I
need
can't
to
decide
take?
what we
I
should
don't know
do.
what we should do.
But I do know that Cisco and US Foods both deliver tofu to all of these places.
So he's very interested in their concept.
Sure.
And they have been kind of plotting together. And they say, I think the problem why vegan food didn't work the first time we tried it with the commissary
that this tasted bad.
was maybe the name commissary. I don't think it would attract a lot of
Sure.
people. They said maybe the branding, maybe some of this stuff. But they said, honestly, what might be the problem is we were cooking it. What if it was raw and vegan? And so they said, let's open up a raw vegan restaurant where all the food is raw. Hey, thanks for watching our show. If you like it, a great way to help out is by being a Patreon supporter. Doing that helps make the show possible, but it also gets a lot of perks for you. You can get every episode a week early, ad-free. You get access to a Discord where you can meet a lot of other people who love the show and actually hang out with Jaron and I every month on a hangout. And we're also in that Discord chat all the time, talking with people, talking about episodes and just random stuff in life. It's super fun. There's a way to get birthday messages, a free gift, merch discounts in there. So there's a lot of really great reasons to be a Patreon supporter. You get a lot of benefits out of it. And it also makes the show keep happening. So if that sounds great to you, you can go to support.tillin.com or tillin.com/support, or just tillin.com and search around until you find the links and become a Patreon supporter. We really appreciate you doing that. But if not, right back to the episode, right? And so,
Alex, I keep looking at you like, do you know a lot of vegans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like you would. I got him. Come on. Swallow your coffee, dude. Don't have that in your mouth right now. So, what is raw vegan food?
it's exactly what it sounds like.
Is it just, here's what are you texting right now?
Sorry, I was saying blood blast. It just felt like this was a part of the conversation that didn't concern me. It just felt like you were talking to that guy, not me. And so I was like, well, this isn't about me anymore. So
what were you doing for
find
real?
something that
were
is
you
about
sending
me.
a text?
Yes.
You can do that here.
No, I can't do
and
that
I
there.
wouldn't know.
No, I can't do that there.
Oh, you got it blocked?
Yeah.
Covenant Eyes won't let you open your text messages.
You see Covenant Eyes had a huge leak.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And the stuff they got leaked.
But anyways, ask
Did you
Alex
see the
about
Covenant Eyes. Hey, listen, not to get too involved in the drama stuff, but the Covenant Eye. You know what Covenant Eyes is? It's a software that
You don't know what Covenant Eyes is?
No, he wasn't as
Dang, you're not.
evangelical as us. He has vegan friends, so he's one of those progressive Christians. If you don't know, Covenant Eyes was a software that you could download on your computer. I don't even know how it works now, to be honest, but it's a software you could download on your computer that would block websites that, but not only block, but like if you went to an inappropriate website, if you got through the block somehow, it would email your accountability partner,
if you even did something even remotely sketchy, it would email your accountability partner with like all your search queries, and it actually sent screenshots too, which seems like a little excessive. But yeah, it would do it would do what you're thinking, but it would also do like guns and like what else? Like R-rated movies. If you're looking at like an R-rated movie or something like that, like it was like pretty like crazy the level of which it would flag things.
And then earlier this year, the founder had to bail his son out of jail for inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
What do I know, though?
What
anyway,
do I know?
So we're talking like raw vegan food, which is it just a head of lettuce? Is it just...
Well, no, they had a presentation. So here's one of their...
Well, yeah, they had a presentation, but is it just...
This is a sandwich, I think, is what they called it. I think they might have...
That's what they called it?
I think this might have...
So if you're listening, imagine a very fancy restaurant's $32 zucchini sandwich. So it is like very thin slices of zucchini with...
ridiculously thin slices.
Yeah. With some... I couldn't even tell you.
They might be raspberries, or they could also be some type of nut.
Some kind of vegan spread with a slice of tomato, and then more thin slices of zucchini, some more spread, more tomato. So it's like a club sandwich, more zucchini on top. So 3 layers of zucchini, and then a little garnish on top to make it look to justify the cost of. So this whole plate cost the restaurant to make
30 cents.
And they charged you $32 for that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Which is probably why Jeffrey loved this idea.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Think
like,
people will
I'm
actually
gonna put a
eat
second
that?
pool in my home.
Yeah, exactly. A second pool. So they opened up this restaurant.
And what is this one called?
Pure Food and Wine.
Okay.
And it was an interesting little spot. Honestly, the vibe of this, and I
like it.
Yeah, it feels like the bar from How I Met Your Mother.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
love
Where
it
it's
a
got the stairs on either side, and you could. It does really feel like that.
Yeah.
This should be an Irish pub.
It should be.
In a just world.
Yeah.
This would be an Irish pub.
Yeah.
But in the world that we live in, and the timeline that we split off into, it's a raw vegan place.
Raw vegan restaurant. And this concept.
What America could have been. What America could have been if that was an Irish pub. But instead, we got to let some homegrown lib from Boston take over. Like it's simultaneously pro-immigrant, but also anti this girl. Like if we had got that could have been a great Indian restaurant. And instead some green-haired little girl opens a raw vegan place, just sliced vegetables.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for your genuine laughter. Make that the out of context quote. That's crazy. Thank you for your genuine laughter. I'm going to say that during shows now. Thank you for your genuine laughter. That's very nice. Wow.
So they opened this restaurant,
sure,
and this one is much more successful.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason why it was is they did like a I don't know if this was like a conscious thing, but it was definitely like almost like a guerrilla marketing influencer marketing type concept, because they just got all the celebrities to love it.
Yeah.
And so celebrities just consistently started showing up and taking pictures here. And like,
So that's Woody Harrelson. For those for those listening, it's what's her name again?
Sarma.
Sarma.
Yeah.
That chef guy, Woody Harrelson, and Toby Mac in this picture.
He does look like Toby Mac. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea who that guy is, but he does look like a 2004.
He
famous
looks like
person.
he was probably The Bachelor at some point, or I don't. Yeah, and we're talking about him, and once you find out who it is, we'll be like, oh,
Yeah, he looks like he could have been Superman in Smallville,
maybe.
like one of those like CB.
Oh, speaking of Superman, my wife is so mad, and this is for a niche audience as well, but my wife is very mad that Henry Cavill left The Witcher and they just put out this new season of The Witcher. I would, but listen, I only catch glimpses.
I respect him for it.
You respect who?
Henry Cavill.
Here's the thing. They waited so long to put out this new season, and then they quit making Man of Steel movies, and so Henry Cavill ended up not being Superman in that new movie that came out.
Oh, really? I didn't know
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Henry Cavill left, and of course, if that's your career, of course you leave The Witcher.
Yeah.
To do Superman.
Well, is that why he left? I heard that he left because
They were departing from the books.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly Superman.
Mostly a better opportunity.
You know, I can be the most iconic superhero character that exists.
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people watch Superman, but I'm going to be honest, like, that's the lamest one.
I agree, but it is the most iconic as far as the decades-long story that this is. Like, and it's like if you got to play Batman, you're gonna go do that, right?
I guess that's true.
And so, Batman, superheroes in general, pretty lame.
Some of them.
What do you mean some of them? The idea that this guy is rich and is like, I'm a bat is
that's crazy.
inherently lame, but we've made it cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's
Have you
not.
heard of the comics, the alternate
I've got a different point.
Batman?
Quit going off tangents. I'm saying I've only caught glimpses. They put out the show.
Yeah.
I would be furious if they recast the main character of my show.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
With the person, like, they didn't even try.
Yeah.
They just got Liam Hemsworth, who is not doing it as well,
Yeah.
who is half the size of Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like every shot you see him in, it's like, I don't even watch the show and I go, his shoulders are too narrow. You know what I'm saying?
At least get a guy with broader shoulders.
Genuinely though,
Look how hairless his arms
Here's
are.
my point though. Liam Hemsworth gets the offer, right? To be the Witcher. And no one was like, hey man, you got to put on 20 pounds.
Yeah, you got to bulk up for
like,
this, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is a ripped character. And from the show, he was ripped before.
That's what I'm saying.
And I do think too, because your wife plays the games and reads the books too, right? Yeah, so she's like in the fandom.
And that's where it's like, oh, I would also be that annoyed. Because then for Henry Cavill to leave for Superman, and then Superman gets recast, so now Henry Cavill left kind of for nothing.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So my wife is genuinely in the position where it's like they have one more season left, and she's like, bring him back.
Yeah.
She goes, we'll be weird about this season that just happened. Sure, whatever. That wasn't.
They could do the Arrested Development thing where they just redo season 4.
Sure.
Yeah, because Arrested Development did that, right? They had a weird season where like writers changed or something like that, and they came back later. And
Community also did. Community
did. Yeah.
Community had a season where it was clearly the writer's strike.
Yeah. Well, there was that beef with the writer.
Yeah. With Chevy Chase.
Yeah. So they opened this restaurant. It's much more successful.
Sure.
Celebrities are coming in and out, and they're
that's what it was.
Celebrities.
It was like with that guy.
What guy?
The Toby Mac looking guy. That's how we got there. My bad.
So she's dating Matthew, her co-owner of the restaurant.
Of course.
And there's actually
this is a cult, isn't it?
There's a moment there.
This is a cult. I saw him wearing a cross necklace. Is this a cult?
No.
Does it become a cult?
No.
Tim doesn't like when I figure stuff out. Go back to that picture of them. Look at this, dude. No. The other one. The one with the celebrities. I mean, if they're dating and he's wearing that necklace, which is like, that necklace is either a $6 bought at a Bible camp kind of necklace.
That's like a crossways, like
$10,000. You know what I'm saying? Like that is it's a little too tight. Just not tight enough. It's not a choker, but it's a little too tight. It's that cross necklace.
You will always know it's there.
I guarantee this becomes a cult.
Yeah, that's it.
Does it become a cult?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Oh, I nailed it, dude. Tim hates when I figure stuff out.
It doesn't really become a cult.
Okay.
I mean, not really.
You're smiling and you're a really bad liar. You should not be on Big Brother with me. I've thought about that. I'm like, dang, man, what was the angle I could pitch to Big Brother? Maybe, what if I pitched them at me and Tim going together? Tim's a website developer. He's a normal, boring guy, right? And I'm just, hey, Big Brother, we're two best friends. And we're not going to tell anyone in the house we know each other. And then we're both in the house, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Then we can just do the whole thing where we pretend we don't know each other at all.
Yeah.
Right? And then like every night we're like, hey, what'd you learn today? And I just realized in this moment right now where you're telling me this is not a cult.
We have too much chemistry.
We're going to lose.
We're going to lose.
We're going to lose because you can't lie.
All right, well, wait and see how this episode plays out.
All right. Does he?
So the restaurant's going well, and they're dating, and she actually, coincidentally, celebrities are coming in and out.
Yeah.
Her and Alec Baldwin kind of hit it off, but she's dating this other guy, so like they can't really have like any real relationship. But they do become pretty close. They come really, really close.
Okay.
And so,
but she's dating this other
but
guy.
she's dating this other guy, Matthew.
So they just become close.
They're just friends.
Sure.
And so, but
And this is 30 Rock era. This is 30 Rock Alec Baldwin,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And so she actually is like, hey, like I should set you up with one of our other regulars who really loves this restaurant. So she sets him up with Alec up with her. And then
What?
Sarma sets Alec Baldwin up with another regular at the
Right.
Pure Food and Wine.
The way you said it was, so she sets him up with Alex, sets up with her.
That's not how I said
You
that
said
at
Alec.
all.
You went, so she set him up with Alec up with her. That's what you said. And I thought
Okay,
Alec up with
look,
her
I did.
was the name of
I
the
will
witch
admit-
that just took over Alec Baldwin's life. You're like, yeah, so she set him up with Alec up with her. Alec up with her. Yes, my name is Alec up with her. Alec up with her. See, it's a witch name.
I guess.
Whatever, dog. Just tell the story, man. I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to quit telling jokes.
I know I said it weird. It's fine. I
I'm
said it
gonna
weird.
quit
It's
doing
whatever.
jokes.
I said it weird. It's okay. I said it weird. So
This is not one of our
Alec-
good episodes, by the way.
So Alex starts
I'll
dating,
let you know if it changes.
Alex starts dating this girl that Sarma set her up with.
Yeah.
And
Who's the girl? Do we know her?
we do know her. Let me look up her name real
Okay, it
quick.
doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
Names don't matter. That's right. We don't care
Well,
about
if it's not
names.
consequential to the story,
It
doesn't
isn't
matter.
consequential to the story. And so, meanwhile, Matthew and Sarma start having some issues, and they split up.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was Queen Elizabeth, by the way. We just Googled it.
dated Queen Elizabeth for a little bit in 2004. I like her because of the bat thing.
I'm Batman. Oh, that was her. It's a callback to like
A long time ago.
the Michael Fagan
Yeah,
episode.
that's a long.
Yeah. So
So Matthew and her split up,
Sure.
but now Alec is dating this other girl that Sarma set her up with. So
shucks.
it's like they can't connect. And then Alec marries that woman.
Oh.
And so Sarma's responsible for Alec's marriage.
and also Alec is now the one who got away.
That is true.
Okay.
And so Sarma goes back to Jeffrey and is like, hey, Matthew and I broke up. It's really awkward having to work with him every day. What can you do?
What year is this now?
It's like it's still pretty early. It's like 2006.
Okay.
Something like that, 2007. And so she goes to Jeffrey and Jeffrey's like, well, I could loan you $2.1 million to buy him out of the restaurant.
Oh,
And she was like, I like that idea. And so he loans her.
he took it out of his loafer.
You're like, I had a lot of money in my loafers.
I can loan you.
That's why I can't have my
See
pants
what
go all
kind
the
of
way down.
Cash I've got
It's
on me right
hard
now.
to pull it up.
I can loan you 1.8, 1.9.
A lot of people don't know that they make these kind of dollar bills.
2.1.
2.1. And we'll see if he'll take that. And
You
so
ever seen a $100,000 bill before?
rips it. That's how much I don't
I
care.
don't
That's
even
how
need it.
rich I am. And then he turns around and runs it, picks it up, steams it together. This is a lot of money. I needed that. I needed that. I needed that.
But I wanted to look good for shawarma.
It was so cool. It was such a cool thing to do, but I needed that.
Her name is Sarma, and I call her shawarma. I was so excited to get the joke out.
That's really funny.
That's rough.
So she buys him out. They open
Sarma
up another
Melngailis, is that her name?
close. She buys her ex-boyfriend out. They open up another location, but this location is a little different. It packages and sells
Okay.
the items as like takeaway
And
items.
they
like
have,
convenience
which we
store.
got to buy these shirts, bro. Eat raw, live long. That's crazy.
But the brand is One Lucky Guy.
I see. So
That's her
that is the
tattoo.
tattoo she's got.
Tattoo
But
is
she's
her
got
brand.
a picture with Matthew later with this Lucky Duck tattoo.
Oh, you know what? I think I mixed this up. I think they opened it before they broke up. They might. have
Oh,
opened it
okay.
before they broke up.
So
Yeah.
they open one Lucky Duck.
Yeah. And then
And it is prepackaged
raw food.
raw food.
Yeah, so it's the food from the restaurant. They just package
Which
it.
she did the whole, and this is 2006. I mean, look, that is that chalkboard menu.
Yeah.
Is what City Market Coffee still looks like.
Yeah. She was definitely ahead of
Way
her
ahead
time,
of the
like a
curve.
pioneer in this
Yeah.
industry. And so she goes back to the restaurant. She kind of focuses on her work for a little bit, and then she starts putting herself back out there. She's meeting people, living the New York single rich restaurateur lifestyle. She meets a guy on the line by the name of Shane Fox.
Okay.
This is Shane, and Shane.
Which one?
So dumb.
It's a picture of Shane and his dog. And I was like, which one? That was funny.
So Shane and her start talking online a lot. He lives back up in Boston,
Okay.
and they start talking online a lot
Oh, she gets
Um,
catfished.
for a long time, like a year. They
Is this a
start talking
catfish story?
online. No, they start talking online. I will say, after about a year of them talking online, he ends up moving down to New York so they can like actually be together.
Okay.
And when she meets him, in this, you said this is a documentary.
Yeah.
You said that she says, I don't feel like he was completely honest about his appearance when he arrived. That's what she says in the documentary.
So she did feel a little catfish. By it.
Yeah, she felt a little catfish.
What part didn't she like?
Oh, she said he was much larger than his pictures led her to believe. That's exactly what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that, man.
So
That's why when I was on the dating apps, I actually used the enlarge photos.
enlarge.
I only used my fat pictures.
So that way,
So they
it was
were
always
pleasantly surprised.
surprising. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, those pictures looked fake, but I was like, there's no way.
Dude, the
fake
amount
them
of girls who
that
were
way.
mad that I wasn't 380 pounds, I'd show up and they were like, oh,
you're like not,
less to love, I guess.
I guess. So she starts seeing Shane.
I told you how often my grandma will say she liked me better when I was bigger. She'll go, you looked healthier when you were big.
What?
I'm like, I don't think you know what
I don't think
healthier
you know what
looked like.
healthy means. I did not know.
So anytime that she goes, anytime my grandma goes, you're looking good, I go, I've put 5 back on, didn't I? Dadgummit. I was like, I gotta trim up a little bit if Della's complimenting me.
Yikes. Big yikes.
I don't know.
Weird.
So all of our family stuff stems from that lady.
Okay, so she starts seeing this
She
Shane
doesn't
guy.
listen to this. She doesn't know how to find it. Tell my grandma I've got a podcast. Just go tell her.
So Shane starts hanging around Sarma. He starts coming around the restaurant,
Okay.
and
Big Shane, they called him. There's not another Shane there, but they just called him Big Shane.
we gotta have.
That's the
I'm
worst,
gonna have to
dude.
call you Big Shane.
That is the worst when people are like, oh yeah, Big Jared over there, a big guy. They call you Big Guy.
It's interesting because like I've always wanted to be called Big Guy or Big Tim. Or,
That's so interesting that the stuff I'm running away from and keeps me up at night. No, you weren't there for that. Bree would remember this. Whoever they were hanging out with in college, because I knew your wife before you did.
barely. By like 3 months.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
we grew up together.
Oh my god.
So anyway, when we were in college, there was a guy we were playing sand volleyball with,
Yep,
and he
I know
kept,
exactly who
you
you're
know,
talking
he
about.
kept
That guy
calling me big
sucked.
boy.
That
He
guy
kept calling me big
sucked.
boy. No
Yeah.
need to do that.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
No need to do that.
Yeah.
Alex is yawning. We gotta move on. Come on.
Hey,
Alex is over there.
That
Hey,
guy ate vegan food.
stuff
though.
that down, dude. Here, drink the rest of this.
So Shane starts coming around, and people start hearing some of the stories that Shane's telling, and they're like,
We don't pay you to sit there and yawn at us. We don't pay you at all.
like Shane's an interesting guy because he tells some strange stories.
I do like that now. Tim is like, we do gotta keep moving. That's super funny. Where Tim's like, so Shane is an interesting guy. Okay. So Shane's an interesting guy. Mm-hmm. No, I'll let you finish.
Okay.
So Shane's an interesting guy. Stupid.
Anyways, so Shane's
an interesting guy.
because he tells a lot of stories, and they're like his stories are
Kind of out there.
not really believable, and so he's starting.
So he's just a liar.
He's telling everyone he was a Navy SEAL.
Heck yeah.
He tells everyone he still works for the
Which I
government.
was.
Yeah. He tells everyone he still works for the government, and he
Which I
works
do.
on like top secret projects.
Mine aren't secret. I can tell you.
He tells everyone
We're
that
planning on bombing London. I work for the government. No secret projects. We're going to bomb London.
yeah, I work for the CIA. Want me to tell you what we're doing?
You want me to tell you? On Reddit. I work for the CIA. AMA. Ask me anything.
Earlier this year, the CIA adopted a process of radical candor. We're just going to tell the truth. We're just going to be honest. We feel like we hurt a lot of people's
We
feelings.
just kind of decided, what's the point of hiding stuff?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to find out about it.
You're going to find out about it, and let's be honest, who's going to stop us?
And we don't feel bad about this at all. Yes, we did convince a group of tribal villagers that vampires existed in the place that they live in order to scare them into compliance with the things that we wanted to do. That's a real thing we
That's
did.
the thing we did. Yeah, and who cares? It was pretty cool.
It's kind of funny.
Kind of cool, actually.
We
if
filmed
you
their
think about it.
reactions. You can watch it on True TV.
A hidden
Impractical
camera.
Jokers was a CIA psyop. Okay.
So Shane's telling these unbelievable stories. He starts telling people he's like an heir to a $6 billion estate.
Okay. He's just a pathological guy. Liar.
Yeah. But he and Sarma get very, 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 very close. And he tells
She
her,
accidentally calls him Alex sometimes.
he tells her, he says, hey, you need to know. He doesn't tell everybody else this. He tells just Sarma this. And he says, hey, you need to know, like, I am part of this group called the Family. And she says, okay. And he says, this is like a interdimensional group of elites that organize everything that happens on this plane. And so we have control, like complete control over everything that happens here in your world. And he says that I have the power to grant you blessings beyond anything that you could ever imagine. And he says, but I need to understand, like, you have faith in us and like you want to be a part of the family. And he says, I'm the heir to the family. I tell everyone I'm an heir to the $6 billion fortune, but really it's much more than that because I'm part of the family. And so he tells her, he says, he says, I want to make you my queen.
Are you joking?
I'm dead serious. He says, I want to
Tim,
make
is this? Are we 51 minutes into?
He says, I want to make you my queen in the like when I step into my true form, I want to make you my queen.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, but I need to know that you're with us, and so I need to see some commitment from your end. And so he tells her that if you can show your commitment, I'll make you my queen. And also, this picture with this dog was actually Sarma's dog. He says, I'll make your dog immortal too. And she loves her dog a lot.
Pause. Are we 51 minutes into an alien episode right now?
This isn't an alien episode. Has nothing to do with it.
Interdimensional.
Yeah.
Eternal being.
I mean, I guess technically, if you're going to paint it that way, we can call him an alien.
Me and my family control everything on your plane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is some alien-esque verbiage going on there, but this is an alien story.
Go back to the picture of him. This guy's immortal. But also not fat. I just want to make sure everyone knows this guy is a normal looking dude.
I mean, hold on.
Is there a bigger picture?
Yeah.
Is this just a good angle of him?
Yeah, this is a
This is like a Facebook profile picture quality because it's like, oh yeah, I can see my chin, my jawline. Is that what this is?
yeah.
You're gonna show me a picture of a fat dog. You're gonna show me a picture of a fat dog right now.
This might give some things away.
Okay. Oh, so he's bigger. Yeah. Here's you know what I'm mad at?
What?
I just have a round face.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because
they make surgeries for that.
Honestly, genuinely might do it. Because I'm tired of big guys.
Yeah.
Bigger than me.
Yeah.
Having better jawlines than me.
Yeah.
Then you get catfished by that picture.
Yeah.
And then you see a big
start mewing. Don't talk to me. I'm mewing. See? That is a stone jaw right there if I've ever seen one.
Thanks.
Can't talk
My
to
grandma hates this. So anyway, we're airing out our insecurities on the podcast. What's yours?
It's
your hairline.
It's my hairline. My hairline is my height. It's my weird fake laugh.
It's my hairline, my height, my weird fake laugh, my high voice,
my duck voice.
my. Are you insecure about anything? Nothing at all. What would I have to be insecure about?
Yelling like Iago over here.
Yeah. All right.
So he tells her, I'll make your dog immortal.
I'm going to make you my queen. I'm going to make you live forever. And she, having been malnourished from eating only raw vegan food, then goes, okay.
She goes, that sounds great. And he says,
does she genuinely believe it?
I think so, because I think her behavior suggests that she bought it.
Can you imagine the number of documentaries we could have? But like, because she sat down. All right, let's play it through for a second. He says, I'm going to make you the queen of my interdimensional plane.
Yeah. And
you're going to live forever.
Yeah.
She believes him.
Yeah.
Years later, she's willing to sit in a documentary chair and be like, yeah, I believed him. Right?
Yeah.
That's why we get a documentary. The number of documentaries we could have, but people are like, I'm not going to admit that I believed it and I'm embarrassed about that and I'm not going to sit in a chair and talk about it.
Well, I should say, I don't think she ever in the documentary was like, yeah, I believed it.
Okay.
She tried to color herself a little different, I think, in the documentary.
You know what? And that's why people do the documentaries sometimes is that they go, oh, this is an image control option.
They can make them look better, yeah.
Did you watch that documentary of the unknown number documentary?
Yes. Yeah. We should do that as an episode.
We talked about we should do that as an episode, but the fact that she's in the documentary,
crazy.
In her mind, she's like, if I'm in the documentary, then I can twist the narrative. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because producers are really good.
It's like, and that's why I was so mad that they didn't interview the orca in the Blackfish documentary.
I want to hear it.
Could have completely changed the narrative. Alex wrote it down because he's like, I don't think you guys want to make a joke about that. Actually, my vegan friends are going to draw the line right there.
So he tells her all
I'm not saying we should eat the whale, Alex. Chill.
He tells her all this, and he's like,
we should, though.
He's like, let's go. He's like, let's go to Monaco. And so she's like, oh, that sounds great. And so then they took a vacation to Monaco.
How is he paying for all this stuff?
And he takes her to these
casinos. Okay, so we're going to find out. Okay.
He takes her to these casinos in Monaco and just the high life. Buying like $100,000 jewelry, like doing high roller poker games, like doing like the presidential suite in Monaco, renting a yacht for the day. Like crazy.
And he's paying for all this.
Yes.
Okay.
Like crazy lifestyle stuff. And so she's like, oh, he is an heir to $1 billion fortune, which is actually, he's part of the family. And so she starts to, like, he's painting this picture that she's starting to believe because he's living this lifestyle. And so they go back home after this trip, and he says, "Hey, the tests are going to begin. We're going to have to start testing your faith."
Okay.
And he says, "I need you to wire me $10,000." And she says, "Okay." And so she starts to be tested by him.
And he's doing,
by
what's
him.
that called? Pig butchering?
Yeah, fattening the pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he starts talking her into sending him like fairly large wires of money. And at this time, like her restaurant's super successful. She's the sole owner. She has a decent bit of debt from Jeffrey, but they're doing $7 million a year in top line revenue. So like, she's doing really well. And so he's just starts slowly but surely leaking some cash from her. But the situation's a little weird because he hires an accountant, and the accountant is like, "Well, if you're getting money from her, like if she's giving you money, you're going to have to pay taxes on it." And so he's like, "You're right." So he proposes to her and he says, "If we're married, then like she can give me whatever money and I don't have to pay taxes on it."
Which is what he
our
said.
money. Well,
Shawarma. Sarma?
Shawarma.
Sarma. You've been wiring me a lot of money lately. And the tests are proving that you're loyal.
This is the biggest test.
Another loyalty test. And also, if we get married, then I don't have to pay taxes. Most of the tax stuff. Will you legally get married to me?
Legally marry me.
Which is romantic.
It's so romantic. So
And he's not even on one knee. He can't. He's huge. And
sorry, I can't get on one knee.
I can't get on one knee.
Both.
I wouldn't be able to get back up.
I'm gonna sit down for this.
Yeah, he's winded. I've been standing too long. Shawarma.
Yikes.
Hey, thanks for listening to Things I Learned Last Night. It would do us a huge favor if you could just share this episode with somebody or just share the show. Tell someone you like it. That helps us grow the show. Another way to help us grow the show is to sport our merch, which is actually super comfy. We changed to a new merch supplier a couple years ago called Fourth Wall. You can buy our stuff at shop.tillin.com. None of this is a pressure, by the way, but it just really does help us grow the show, and it helps get the word out. And people ask me about my hoodie in the airport all the time. So they're really comfy. Would love for you to support the show. And either way, thanks for being here. We're glad that we get to do this podcast.
So they get married,
Yeah.
and he starts getting more and more money sent to her. Their finances are split, I should say. Their finances remain split, but they do get married. And so now he starts coming around the restaurant a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And he's around the restaurant, and he's behaving like he owns the place.
Sure.
And so he's bossing people around. He's making hiring decisions, and everyone's like, "You don't work here." And he's like, "Well, my wife owns the place, and so like I own the place." And everyone's like, "I don't think that's how that works."
It is, but yeah.
And so he starts having kind of like a rough relationship with a lot of the staff. And what's interesting is like the staff had a great experience with Sarma up until this point. Now that you've done it, I keep almost saying shawarma.
And this is why I'd be good at Big Brother. 'Cause I'm planting ideas. These little seeds. And I water them through my jokes.
I
I'm not
water
even
them
thinking
through
about
my
it.
jokes.
He just goes, Jaren should win this game.
So
Her name is Jaren, just one Big Brother. Her name is Alec up with a cup.
So he starts coming around the restaurant. And meanwhile, he starts introducing, as like she starts passing more and more tests, he starts introducing her to more and more people in his life.
Sure.
I don't know if in his life is right. So what I should say, he introduces her to an IT professional that he's assigned to him through his government job. And he's like, we need to make sure that everything is secure for you. And so he connects her to this IT professional online, and the IT professional says, okay, I'm going to need access to all your accounts.
Of course.
So that way we can make
So
sure
then they can
stays
set
secure.
up fake numbers. So she can open an app,
Yeah.
see that her bank account has this amount of money in it.
Yeah.
But really it has zero.
Well, I don't know about any of that. What I can say is they said we want to make sure everything stays secure because your husband is in like black ops, and so we want to make sure that everything is as safe
And
as
she
possible.
believes that.
Yeah, she believes that, and so he's constantly going out on these trips.
That's what I'm saying. She may not believe he's an alien. She's dumb enough though.
Well, he's constantly going on these trips, and he's like, yeah, I'm killing rebels in Africa is what I'm going to be doing this week. And that's what he's telling her, like straight up, word for word. That's what he's telling her.
Killing rebels.
And she's like, okay. And then he'll be in Africa. I'm
just so ready for bed. How'd the restaurant go today?
Restaurant go good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just jet lagged. I was killing rebels in Africa this week.
Starting to make my jaw look.
We spent the week killing rebels in Africa.
I've been very insecure ever since you called me really fat.
I've been really insecure ever since you said I didn't look at my pictures online.
And so he would text
So he
her,
is gone.
ask
I was
her
going to
for
say,
wires.
because the way that these con men work
Yeah.
is like, I mean, it's kind of like when we talked about Ike and Marty.
Yeah.
It's so involved, but they're doing it to multiple people.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you have time for this?
Yeah. I don't know how you could possibly.
I barely have time to do this to my wife. I'm taking all of her money.
Yeah. I don't know how you could possibly like pull that off.
Yeah. So anyway, so he's leaving for a week.
Yeah.
I assume to go to another victim.
We do know what he was doing.
Okay.
We can get to that later. But
Just normal stuff.
he was killing rebels in Africa.
Yeah. What if he was? What if it was like he was telling the truth the whole time?
He was telling the truth about
Crazy.
that part. The celestial being thing wasn't true, but the Black Ops was.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like you got to tell them a lie so that way when they start talking about it, you know.
You guys listening, Big Brother casting? You gotta drop breadcrumbs, different kind of lies, so that way when they catch you in one, they don't know what's true and what's not.
So
You gotta have like plausible deniability for all of your different things.
exactly.
And also, if you leak certain information to certain people, like if you tell each person a different kind of lie, then when that comes back to you, you know who your leak is.
Yeah.
That's what I did to Tim.
So the employees of the restaurant are like, if there's one thing I know about Navy SEALs is they don't really talk about it, and also they're not that fat, and so there's some doubt that starts to form among the restaurant staff. So restaurant staff starts doing some digging.
The restaurant staff is like, I bet those rebels could outrun you. And start looking around.
And so the restaurant staff starts doing some digging, and they find out that Shane isn't his name. Shane Fox is not his name. His name is actually Anthony Stranges, and he's divorced. He was married to another woman in Florida who alleges that he stole a lot of money from her.
Yeah.
And so the staff finds this out. They get all the proof together, and they approach Sarma.
Mm-hmm.
They approach Sarma, and they're like, "Hey, Shane's not who you think he is." And
Staff does?
yeah, the staff does.
Okay.
And she sees all of that, and it's very interesting when you see the staff talk about it, because the staff says, the staff's like, it was almost like she didn't care. Like it seemed like she believed us, but she
was
didn't
like,
care about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And so like she like wasn't defensive. She wasn't like, no, this couldn't be true. And then so she goes and she confronts Shane, and Shane is like, this is another test, and your allegiance to me is allowing you to pass the test. And basically like confesses, yes, I am Anthony. That's another alias I've used.
Right.
These are all aliases. Like none of this is real. And he's like, this was a different life that I lived as a part of my job here as a member of the family. I've lived a lot of different lifestyles. over the last.
But
few
all
years.
of them have included eating and not working out. And now we're body shaming the guy. Now we're just because you said that the workers were all like, "Yeah, Navy SEALs aren't that big." So now it's like, now the whole. I imagine the YouTube thumbnails are going to be like, "Fat guy lies." Like, what are we talking about? Like, he's not. Just to be clear, he's not that big. He's just not. He's just not a Navy SEAL.
He just doesn't look like a Navy SEAL. Yeah.
Now we're body shaming this guy. Okay, so he's like. He's doing the thing where he's just like, yeah. All that, sure. They're just saying that to test you.
Yeah. And slowly but surely, more and more people are introduced to shawarma.
Are you confident that she believed this stuff? Or like, I mean, like not believe, but like, why, if she didn't believe it, why would she go along?
It's very hard to tell. I'm not gonna lie. It's very hard to tell. I would assume she did because it's hard.
And now she's just trying to save face and be like, no, I knew the whole time.
Yeah. So he slowly but surely starts introducing her to all these other government assets that he works with that is like corroborating his story in different ways or asking her for like sending her on different tests.
Okay.
So there's small little like, usually it's money. Usually it's send this money to this place. But sometimes there's like little like trust exercises almost that like they have to do. But for the most part, it's send money. And this goes on for a few years until eventually he takes her back to Monaco. They spent a few weeks in Monaco. And at this point, he has access to all of the business accounts. And he's like running the finances of the business. And so he's like taking control of that. And all of a sudden one day, paychecks don't hit the employees. And they're all in Monaco. And the employees just didn't get paid. And so
the employees are also in Monaco?
No. Sorry. The employees are back at the restaurant.
Okay.
And Sarma and Shane or Anthony, Shane/Anthony are in Monaco.
Okay.
And the employees don't get paid. So the employees start texting her and are like, hey, we didn't get paid today. And she's like, okay, I'm looking into it. And she finds out, oh, the bank account has no money. And so she's like, that's a problem. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. So she, from Monaco, manages, like, she goes up to the hotel room. Shane stays at the casino, like gambling.
With their paychecks.
And so she goes up to the hotel room and she makes a bunch of phone calls and she ends up securing, I think it was like $300,000 to pay everybody for the next like 2 pay periods. Because she, at this point, I should say too.
Yeah, huge.
She had multiple locations.
Right.
All throughout New York. And she had the one lucky duck. And so she secured all this cash to be able to pay everybody. And so they're like, okay, we got paid. And then a couple weeks later, this happens again. The paychecks, a couple weeks later, they get an email from Shane, right? The night before payday. And it says, hey, just want to let you guys know you're going to get paid tomorrow, but your checks are going to bounce. Just so you're aware. And everyone's like, that's not how this should work. And he's like, so don't spend any of that money. It's not real money. It's not going to be there. You're not going to get to keep it. And everyone's like, okay. And so they get together and they stage a walkout and they say, okay, we're not going to work if you're not going to pay us.
Sure.
And so they're on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah.
And the restaurant closes because no one's working in the restaurant. And so Sarma hears about this and Sarma's like pretty mad.
Yeah.
And so they rush back. Sarma tries to figure the situation out. She's basically able to kind of save face with all the employees and be like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to find a way to get you paid. She ends up taking on a lot of debt to be able to pay these employees. But it becomes a sort of thing where this was like the beginning of a serious bleed with the company. And it became a trend where paycheck after paycheck started getting missed.
Of course.
And so employees started leaving and eventually the restaurant shut down.
Okay.
Because no one was getting employed. No one was getting paid. Employees left. In the middle of all of this, Sarma is barely connected to what's going on at the store. She knows that there's this problem with the paychecks that's happening.
That's what I'm wondering too. Like, if the first time the paychecks bounce is when you're like, oh, I need to be like involved.
Yeah, and Shane,
but she's still kind of like,
Shane's like, no, I got it. And she's like, and anytime she's like, no, I feel like I need to be. He's like, this is a test.
It's a test.
Yeah. He's like, we're finding out where your faith lies.
Okay.
And so he's like, think about your dog. Think about the dog.
The dog's gonna live forever.
Which sidebar?
Hold on. Please tell me that this doesn't end with the dog dies and then she realizes, she goes, oh, he was lying.
I wish that were true, but that's not how it happens.
Dog dies and she goes,
you can't do it. And he's like, this is another test.
He's like, this is a test.
I'll revive the
just-
dog.
Give it 3 days.
Give it 3 days. And so he comes to her in the night and he says, hey, we need to go on a trip. And she says, it's the what? What are you talking about? And he's like, we need to go on a road trip. This is another test. Like, we need to go now.
Okay.
And so they get in a car, they load up the dog and a lot of what they own, and they just drive out of the city and start driving across the country. And he paints it to her like they're on like a road trip. And
Okay.
so
Cross country is in like they're headed multiple states, like
Yeah.
they're leaving
yeah.
out west.
Yeah. And he
Okay.
says, if anybody asks, your name is Emma. And she says, okay. And so she's like, if I talk to someone, I have to introduce myself as Emma. And so she does. This whole trip, she's introducing herself as Emma. And he says, I've got you these skin color Band-Aids.
Which, if you're ever at a gas station, pilot gas station, and someone just comes up and goes, "Hi, I'm Emma." Nah, you should call the police.
Yeah. Hey, Emma, you should, whatever you're doing, stop.
Emma, your dog's gonna die.
Emma, they're going to kill your dog. I think they're going to kill your dog, Emma.
This is me grabbing her head. Your dog's gonna die.
But he's like, I got you some skin color Band-Aids. I need you to cover up your tattoo. And she's like, you're right. I should do that.
Skin colored Band-Aids. Okay.
And so she covers up her tattoo with these Band-Aids. And then he drives
He's
her.
like, cover that up. I'm tired of looking at it. I got you some skin colored tattoos. You should cover those things
Yeah,
up.
you should cover those.
Because he's driving. It's on her left shoulder. He's driving all day. He's like,
Stupid
duck. I hate that duck. I hate that. He's driving. He's so mad.
I'm steaming.
Pull it together,
I'm
Shane
steaming
Anthony.
So they drive.
Yeah.
And they kind of like do a normal road trip. They see all the sights. They stop at the sideshows. And then
Am I crazy? We got to wrap this up. Episode's running long. And Tim is like, they stop and see the giant gopher. They stop and see the
I've set
giant
the
ball
stage.
of
I've set the
yarn.
stage.
Yeah, then you get mad at me when the episode's too long.
He takes her to Vegas and they get a presidential suite in Vegas.
Okay.
And they spend like a month and a half in Vegas. And he is at the slots
Going
every
crazy.
day. Every single day sitting at the slots. She hates it there. She's in a room. She's reading books. She's like just like holed away in the room,
Sure.
in the hotel room. And so they're there. She's getting all these texts from employees that she's just ignoring.
He left her phone? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting move.
And so she's still like engaging with people, but getting all these angry texts from people.
She goes, that's Sarma. I'm Emma.
I'm Emma. Sorry,
Sorry, wrong number. This is Emma.
This is Emma. My name is Emma. And so then
I'm doing that forever. Oh, sorry, wrong number. I want to respond to my tax lady when she goes, "Hey, Jaron, flight receipts look more than last year." I'm just gonna go, "Sorry, wrong email." Coming from my email. Sorry, wrong email.
with your signature and everything.
Yeah, sorry, you've emailed the wrong person. My name is Emma. Send.
So they spend a few weeks in Vegas, and then finally they start another road trip going back east. And they end up in Tennessee. They're staying in like some motel in Tennessee. And while they're there, Sarma hears this knock.
What? Okay.
Sarma hears this knock at the door, and the door opens up, and it's two detectives. And they say, "Hi, I'm Officer whatever. What's your name?" And she says, "Emma." And she says, and the officer's like, "No, your name's Sarma." And she's like, "Oh, sorry. He told me I need to introduce myself as Emma." And so they come in and they look in the room. And at this point, she finds out that earlier, like a few minutes ago, the police arrested him in the lobby. And the way they did it is they had the front desk call Anthony. And they said, "Hey, there's a problem with the payment. Can you come down and help handle the payment?"
Sure.
He walks in the room, and then they tackled him, and they arrested him. So he's sitting out in the squad car, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go up and we're gonna get her." And she's just in her room reading, just hanging out, and she like basically says everything that happened.
Right.
And so then they take her down, and they're like, "Do you want to say
Goodbye.
goodbye to him? Do you want to kiss your husband goodbye?" And she's like, "No, I never want to see him again." And then he was like, "Oh, that's strange." And so then they load her in the squad car, and they put her under arrest too.
What's she under arrest for at this point?
Well, embezzling. And so she was pulling money out of the business accounts, and it prevented anyone from the company from getting paid. And so there's like lost wages for months.
Okay.
And so,
But she was doing that.
yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. And so basically this begins.
So they're not viewing her as a victim of this, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
You want to paint a picture about the road trip and stopping and looking at yarn balls, but you don't want to paint a picture of, is she a victim in this or is she accomplice?
Here's what's such a thing.
And I'm like, she's under arrest, and you're like, yeah.
They go into
Tim,
shut up.
why do you talk about stuff that doesn't matter and you don't talk about stuff that does?
I'm trying to explain this to you. They take her to court. They take him to court, and he immediately gets like charged.
Okay.
There's no question. This guy did it. This guy's criming.
Sure.
And so he gets convicted.
He's sliming and criming.
Yeah, he gets convicted for his whole scheme, and
right.
he serves 2 years in prison for it. And then she goes
his whole scheme of
embezzling money, like this scam. I don't know what the actual charge
is. He in trouble for doing this to her? Like he's stealing money from her. Yes,
I believe so.
And he only did 2 years?
Yeah, and so he was charged with grand larceny and a scheme to defraud and a violation of labor law.
Okay.
So he got 2 years in prison for that. And then she got put on trial because and this is the interesting thing about the trial.
Ignorance doesn't get you off the hook. Like that was your business. You should have been more involved with the paychecks.
Yeah. And so the defense said that she was under coercive control.
Okay.
And so they said that she did not have control.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
The defense made that claim. But the prosecution said,
well, but then she was like, no. Just ruining her own defense. The defense is like, her husband had control over her. She did not know that. And she goes, no one controls me. And they're like, hey, shut up.
Shut up. And she's like, he was going to make my dog immortal. I wanted that.
And they're like, oh, put her in jail.
And so she ends up getting charged she ends up pleading guilty in May 2017 after this whole trial.
Wow.
To stealing over $2 million from investors and scheming to defraud, as well as criminal tax fraud charges. And so she had a 4-year jail sentence.
She spent more time in jail than he did.
Sorry, 4 month. I meant 4 months.
Oh, okay.
A 4-month jail sentence. And then she ended up divorcing Stranges, which makes sense. What's interesting is when you watch her talk about this whole story, like, it's so strange because she pled guilty to this.
Uh-huh.
And she obviously served her sentence. And when you watch her talk about it, like, there is an air of her where she talks about it like, yeah, I knew he was lying to me. I didn't believe it, but I needed money. And so, like, I thought that I believed the story.
She kind of ended up
Ponzi
scheming herself, where she was like, I need money.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get out of this hole and I don't have to keep putting up with this guy.
Exactly. But then there was also a storyline she would tell that was like, I believed it. Like, he tricked me. I didn't know what was going on at all. Like, I thought my dog was going to be immortal. And so, like, she's kind of playing like a foot in both realms. Where it's like, I wasn't a part of this at all.
You can't be the victim and the perp at the same time.
Yeah, I was completely deceived. And then there was one where it's like, I knew what was going on, but I was like trying to play the game.
Either way, it's like she's trying to be like, I was a victim of circumstance or a victim of this guy.
Yeah.
So none of it's like, I need to take responsibility for my actions in this. Got it. Yeah.
What's really interesting is, so she gets out of prison and she's now $6 million in debt from the whole ordeal because she's got to pay back the debts from that. And then she has the debts that she accrued during the whole scheme to try to pay people and then keep the restaurant open and things like that. So $6 million in debt. She served her jail sentence, but also she kind of has this like stamp on her of like, no investor's ever going to invest in her again because of this fraud.
Yeah.
And so like the thing that she knows, the thing that she's actually good at, which was running this vegan restaurant, she can't go back to do.
Right.
Where Anthony gets out of prison, and Anthony had nothing before this.
Yeah.
Except for the money that he stole from his other wife.
Sure.
And grew in his gambling addiction. And so he essentially gets to start over a clean slate. And because he didn't really have anything before. And so for him, he serves a sentence. He doesn't have any debt. He didn't take on any of that debt. He gets a divorce and he's just kind of out there free. And we don't know like what's going on in his life right now, but we do know that he did the same thing with his previous wife. And he told her the same stuff about him being a Black Ops operative, him being a Navy SEAL. And like, he didn't say the weird, like
interdimensional
thing. Yeah. But, and then he went and did that with Sarma. And so the question is he out there doing this with somebody else now? We don't know. But he does have a clean slate, and he could be doing it. Have you been getting text messages?
Oh no.
What's interesting is in this case, and I'm sure you could probably guess this, but this whole group of professionals from the government that he introduced her to, none of them existed.
Of course.
Which the documentary did a great job illustrating this because they got actors to play the role of all those people. And then when they revealed it, they had them all like fade away because it was like none of these people are real, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I can't believe this is a real person who's like going along with this. Like he had this network of like 12 people.
Sure.
But none of them were real, which was a peak production. But anyways.
Okay.
So she wrote a book. She did this Netflix documentary, and is now like she's doing the podcast tour thing. And she's talking a lot about the documentary because the documentary does kind of paint it like.
So Alec Baldwin dodged a bullet, is what it sounds like.
Well, here's the thing: like she herself wasn't doing any of this stuff. She got sucked into it.
Here's the thing. Oh boy.
This guy very clearly had a gambling addiction.
Of course.
And I watched a psychologist try to
kind of figure out
like
stuff.
psychoanalyze this, and it was very interesting because he had one part he said how did he phrase this? He said and for some reason she wanted to subject her dog to an eternity with her. Which is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
But he did talk about gambling addiction, and he said the unique thing with gambling addiction is with every other addiction out there, they're usually substance addictions, and so those substances, they inhibit you in some way.
Yeah.
And so you can't feed that addiction to a certain level because your body literally can't continue to feed that. But with a gambling addiction, the more you feed that addiction, what can happen is it's this 50-50 chance, and you might be able to earn more money to feed that addiction more, or you lose money and then you go take advantage of other people to feed that addiction more. And so what we see with a lot of people who get addicted to gambling is they start to take advantage of a lot of the other people in their life.
Right.
So that way they can continue. And because their mental state is not inhibited, they can be very sneaky and schemy and trick a lot of people because they're at a normal mental state. But they're feeding this really toxic addiction. And so the question is, like, if she ended up with Alec, like, would this have happened? Because Alec didn't have a gambling addiction that we know of. Alec's not doing this to his actual wife that we know of.
Right.
And so she was predisposed to fall victim to this, I would say, because she definitely did believe in a lot of this like astral projection stuff. But
so you're victim blaming the astrology girls, huh?
No, what I would say is
if you're a Sagittarius, it's on you. It's your fault.
What I'm saying is he knew how to play her. And so he knew I could draw in on these beliefs and play you this way.
Of course.
And so I don't think Alec dodged a bullet because I think if Alec was with her, then none of this would have happened. Pure Food and Wine probably would still be there.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I don't know, man. I struggle between like what's the line between someone being taken advantage of and then like at a certain point you're being taken advantage of, but you're also perpetrating that onto the.
You're still harming other people.
Yeah, and that's where it sucks. And so that's why we limited our Patreon supporters. You know, we don't even have enough of them to take advantage of people. So. If you want to help us take advantage of others, make sure you get in early so you're not the one we take advantage of. How about that? Join us on Patreon or have your life ruined by us 5 years from now when we gain power. Those are your choices. Hey, thanks for listening this week. There's another episode we did about.
You gotta fiddle off.
Oh,
first.
sorry, fiddle off. Thanks for listening this week. There's another episode we did about Dr. Isaac Hirschkopf, who kind of like embedded himself in the life of Marty over 30 years, took over his life. I think you'd enjoy it. Thanks for it. Please share this, by the way. Share this episode with somebody. Not this one. Share a different one. Share one with Tim's fake dumb laughs. But thank you for your genuine laughter of our show. We enjoy doing this. This is so dumb. All right, we'll see you next week.